Yes, we have just elected a man who was officially endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan. So you can be sure that every white racist in the country voted for Trump. But there are millions of other decent people who have reasonable concerns about a movement like Black Lives Matter. And most of these people probably voted for Trump too. These people are not racists. They were simply recoiling from charges of racism and from a toxic brand of identity politics.
Hey guys. So you probably remember during Hillary Clinton's campaign when she made the basket of deplorables comment regarding half of Trump supporters, that half of Trump supporters are racist, sexist, etc. It's funny. I mean, it's such a great phrase, basket. It's such a grandma phrase. It's such a Hillary Clinton phrase. But as funny as it is, it's possibly one of the worst things she could have said, and really indicative of at least one of the reasons why many people think that Trump ultimately won. Of course, the rest of her statement during this speech isn't really that bad. She goes on to say that the other half of Trump supporters are, interested in other issues, right? Like the economy, whatever. They're not racist, they're not sexist, etc. But of course, unsurprisingly, no one paid attention to that part. No one heard that part, which makes sense. I mean, it's like you make the best argument ever for the existence of climate change, but then in the middle of it, you start like shouting obscenities and like racial slurs. No one's going to care about your argument for climate change at that point, right? Most importantly, it was not just Hillary making this claim, painting half or most or all Trump supporters with the same, racist, sexist brush. The media in general, the left in general, did this throughout the campaign and are still doing it. Clinton supporters ignored her professional flaws, questionable relationships of the Clinton Foundation, a disregard for transparency and the rules in setting up her own email server, as well as a total inability to acknowledge any real faults in her history of foreign policy positions. Instead, they tried to gaslight opponents of Clinton as sexist. Even now, the narrative that America is more sexist than racist is taking hold on the left. The notion itself could easily be called racist. At the very least, it's a distasteful exercise in impression ranking. Trump won in part because of voters in places like Michigan and Wisconsin who voted twice for Obama. It won't stop some on the left from calling those Trump voters racist either. As Sam Harris notes in his podcast, his Waking Up podcast, the 30-minute one on the topic of Trump's victory, there's no doubt that actual racists and sexists voted for Trump. But to dismiss Trump supporters in general as bigots is both wrong and counterproductive. Number one, it puts people immediately on the defensive and makes them resistant to even listen to anything you have to say. And number two, it shows that you have no real argument. If a Trump supporter supports Trump because they think that Hillary is just a warmonger and is way more dangerous, and you respond with, oh, you're racist, it kind of sends the message that you won't engage in the discussion because you can't engage in the discussion, which honestly is very likely true. And if you can't engage on the issues that matter to these people, to these Trump supporters, you can't be surprised when they don't stop supporting Trump. And even in the case of actual racists who support Trump, or sexist or whatever, it's probably not a good idea to just call them that and then dismiss them. You're probably not going to change any minds there either, unless you're not interested in changing minds. If your only goal is to win an argument, to stroke your own ego, okay, fine. Even like true racists I don't think they really call themselves racist. You look at the white supremacy movement, they call racial realists now, right? Again, if you really want to change people's minds, you have to engage with people and you have to listen to people, even if their views are just utterly disgusting to you. So you can probably see where I'm going with this as it relates to veganism. We can't call meat eaters murderers and rapists and psychopaths and expect them to listen to us and join our team. Again, it's wrong. It's counterproductive. It puts people on the defensive, and it doesn't recognize the complexity of human psychology and cognitive dissonance. I think a really good example of this is what just happened in Massachusetts, what just passed, the Yes on 3, where the vast majority, 70-something% of people voted yes to to stifle animal cruelty, so to speak, and to allow better conditions for farm animals. The vast majority of people said, yeah, that's something that we want. And yet, are the vast majority of those people vegan? Or do the vast majority of those people eat animals? I think we know the answer to that. Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug, is what I'm saying. But to paint these people as psychopaths and to just dismiss them as, oh, you're just terrible people, and if you won't go vegan, well, you're just a terrible person, and if you watch Earthlings and you're not vegan, well, you're just a terrible person. It's easy, right? I mean, it's easy to just call Trump supporters racist and sexist. It's just easy to just dismiss them. It's a lot harder to, if you really want to make change, to actually engage with people who maybe you despise, or you don't quite understand, or you don't, in the case of veganism, you don't really remember what it was like to eat animals and to be ignorant, or even to know that it was wrong and to continue to eat animals, which many of us did. I would say most of us did. Most of us did not watch Earthlings and go vegan right away. The vast majority of us did not do that. But it's hard. It's hard to engage with people. It's hard to take the time to listen to people. It's hard to be nice to people sometimes. I think the perfect example of this, it's such a great piece, I believe the Washington Post, on Derek Black. Derek Black is the son of Don Black. He started the Stormfront website, a white nationalist website. Derek Black, his godfather is David Duke, if that tells you anything. He was essentially groomed from birth to be a leader in the white nationalist movement, in the new, cleaner version, right? Where you don't scream racial slurs, you're a racial realist, right? Like I said earlier. And so this piece is all about Derek Black and how he ultimately is no longer a racist and no longer a leader in this movement. And it happened because people took the time to listen to him, and people didn't just ostracize him and go, oh, wow, you're a lost cause, fuck off, which is easy to do and understandable in a lot of ways, right? But these wonderful people at his college started, inviting him out again. After they found out, it was basically, he was outed as this person who was involved in this awful movement, and so everyone was like, whoa, okay. And then, they started inviting him back out and just being friendly and eventually just engaging on the issues and asking him questions and talking to him about things. And eventually, slowly but surely, like I said, he changed his mind. And it's just an amazing piece. I'm sure at least some of you, probably a lot of you, are feeling maybe a little bit disheartened by what has happened by Trump winning. And you might need a little bit of something uplifting, and I think this is definitely the piece for that. It's a long article, but it is so worth the read. It's just terrific. And again, the theme of everything that I'm talking about here, if I've said it so many times in this video, but if we want to change people's hearts and minds, so to speak, we have to engage and we have to listen and actually listen, and be thoughtful and not just dismissive, as easy as it is to be dismissive. So that is truly it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below. If you want to subscribe. And I will have a new video soon. And this is the last, I'll just say this is the last time I'm talking about the election. I know the last 3 videos have been about that. It's not something I intended at all, but well, really, I guess with the Clifton Roberts thing, I think it was the Onion Knight did a video, or maybe it was someone else, I can't remember, but it was like a call to action to vegan YouTubers to talk about Clifton Roberts. And I was just like, I don't want to talk about Clifton Roberts, so I made the original video. And then Clifton Roberts said all this stupid stuff about diabetes, and I was like, okay, I gotta do this now. And then this, and yeah, I thought this would be a good video. But yeah, and for those who follow me on Twitter, I know a lot of my retweets and stuff recently have been election related. Probably done with that as well, unless something, something related to veganism or the environment or something like that comes up, then I'll share it or maybe do a video. But for now, the election stuff is done. We'll get back to other things. I don't know. I don't know what the next video is going to be. So yeah, again, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe. New video soon.